All right, welcome back. So now we're going to have some more fun. This time we're going to start combining a little more of our variables with some functions. I hope you guys played around with it. I hope you're able to learn a little bit about it, sort of grow. I know it's in the beginning, it's so exciting. It's like, wow, I did something. I told a program, or I created a program, or I told the computer to do something, and like magic, it does it. So awesome, right? So now we'll move on to functions. Variables are the boxes that hold. Functions are basically the people that pick up the boxes and move them. You do something with the information that you put into the box. If you were going to have, well, I want to read that, all those books, well, you got to pick them up, pull them out, you got to read them. You would have a function that would do that. Function is the action, and you want it to do something. Whereas variables, they store and they hold all the information we give them. Functions allow you to take that data, that information that you put inside of them, and be like, hey, let's do something with it. Let's double it. So we'll actually start with that. We'll do function, and we'll have a function that'll double, and we'll just, right here, we're going to give this function a variable. So we're going to say n. Now, n doesn't have any special significance. I know it seems like we could have made it p or this. It's not important so much as to what it is. It's just you want it to make sense. We're going to put a number, so we're going to use the letter n. That makes sense. So we're going to use n to create a function. We type the word function. We name the function. If we don't have any variables, basically if we're not going to pass any information into this function, and I'll show you what I mean, then we don't need anything here. But since we are going to pass information, we'll put n. We're going to pass something to this. We're going to pass some sort of something, one of these things, into double it. So we can come down here and we're going to return, we're going to say n times 2. So all that is going to do is take anything, any number, if you can't do it to a string or a string or word, that doesn't make sense, but any of these numbers that we have, we can double that number. All right, we got these numbers, we can double them. And all we'd have to do now is call that function and have it double it. So we can say, we'll do double it. And inside of double it, we're going to let's put num1. And actually, we'll change number 2 to just say 25, just so we can kind of tell the difference a little easier. So this, in theory, will take the information inside of number 1, which is 15, and it'll move it. It'll put it in here so it can be called. And so now double it. Here's where it gets a little crazy. When we look at the function, see this n? This n is the variable that will be used to store what we put in there, if that makes sense. So we are taking number 1, and we're basically giving it right here. It's almost like saying, hey, number 1, when we call it every time, is number 1. But we don't want to call number 1 every time. Sometimes we're going to want to call, let's say, number 2, right? So we can do that, but not if we hard code in number 1. If we do that, it's going to already be like, oh, well, we have a number 1. And that'll just be confusing. It'll just throw you off. So what we want to do is make it just simple. Don't name it the same thing. Otherwise, it's just going to confuse yourself. You'd be like, wait, why is number 1 number 1? It wouldn't work the same, but it will confuse you. So keep it simple. Basically, we're taking the information from number 1, moving it into that n, which is right there. You can see it's right there now. And we are going to double that number. So we can console.log, come over here. That way it'll print it out for us. So now we are going to print to the screen number 1 doubled, which number 1 doubled should be 30. So we will do just that. So we'll run this again. And there we go. Number 1 was doubled, which is pretty awesome. So now we know that we can double a number. So now what if we want to double number 2 as well? We could say, no problem, console.log. I'm only going to do this part first because I don't do it after. And we'll say double it. And with this time, we'll put number 2. Okay, what happens now if we log it? Well, now we have 50, which is exactly what we wanted. So a function takes the information that we have given it, the data that we hand to it. We're passing something into this one. As you can see, we passed in double. Now, I don't want to confuse you, but we're going to show, we could say function doubles, pass nothing into it, and we could just say, we could just put return 10 and times, no, let's make it like, let's make it 40. We can't tell the difference. We'll make 40 times 2 because we're just doubling it. And there we go. And we can call that the same way. We could say console.log, and we just say doubles. No problem. Now, if we run that again, well, it doubled it. It's because this function had nothing, there was no arguments being passed to it. No information was being handed to this function. It was just simply called. We called it right here. That's how we call a function. And we said, hey, doubles. And that's how we call the function. We put the name with those parentheses, and that calls it to action. And so it doubled 40, returned it, and then we printed out that number right here, which is 80. So we can, just so you know, you don't always have to do, you don't have to put console.log on everything you do here. We could actually make, let's say we wanted to have a function called greetings, and we wanted to just put, a user's name in there, right? Because we want to greet this person. We want this person to be like, hey, how's it going? So we can just say console.log, and we hit the little back tick. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. There we go. Put the back tick, and we can say awesome to, that's not how you spell awesome. Awesome to meet you. And now we can put the name. So it's $, little brackets, and then we'll put in user's name. Because once again, we're going to take the information that we pass to this function. And here, I'll actually move it up here so it's a little easier to see. So we're going to come right here. We're going to break that up so we can just square this section off. So we're going to hand this function the name, the first name, our first name. Whatever first name you put, whatever names you want to put in there, you can. So I know it's a little confusing, but this time we're going to say the user's name, which would be first name. So if we want to call this with Joseph, we could simply say, hey, greetings. Oh, and then we're going to put first name. Because first name will be called, it'll basically, like I said, it's like saying greetings, first name, and it'll print it. It's the argument that we are handing to this function. If we didn't pass first name to it, we just had this isolated, well, it wouldn't have an argument to print. So it wouldn't actually be able to do anything because it would awesome to meet you and it wouldn't work. Because it's expecting an argument to be passed in. And if you don't do that, it won't function. So because we did hand in first name, if we call greetings with the first name, which we already know is Joseph, awesome to meet you, Joseph. And then we see it's printing out Joseph there as well, which is really cool. So we can pass in different arguments, and you can pass in multiple arguments. We'll see that later. We could also pass in our age. We could put user's age here if we wanted to. And then we could say, hey, little comma, you are, it'd be years old. So age, that's not it. It has to be a $sign. You are, I always forget because you think when you speak English, or like when you speak, it's, oh, you are blank years old. Yeah, that makes sense. But it doesn't actually say the word years. It just says the number. So you want to have it'll say the number years old. So now we've handed it 2 arguments. Now we have given it Joseph, and we're going to actually have it call this one as well. So now we can go right here, we'll go age. You come on down here. Looks like awesome to meet you, Joseph. You are 1,892 years old. So as you can see, it it's not as imperative. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. Actually, we did users age. I'd actually just called age there. So now we're actually doing it dynamic. I had actually hard typed it in. I messed up on the age part, but you'll see that it works either way. But what you want to do is use the variable to accept it and then save it there. So we handed it first name and we handed it age. So we know that, hey, greetings is going to have a user's name and a user's age. So we want to say Austin to meet you, user's name. You are 1,892 years old. And we call that right here from this function. This function gets called and it'll say, hey, we want to print out Austin, nice to meet you. What information did we get? Oh, it's Joseph. Okay, Joseph. And then you are, and then it's, oh, what information was it again? Oh, no worries. It was the age, which is 1,892. This information is accessible because we passed it into the argument. I know that's a little confusing, but continue to play around with functions, trying to understand them and grow a deeper understanding of them because they are such a paramount piece of programming. It is so foundational and fundamental to understand the variables and to understand the functions. These are such important things because upon them we build every awesome project you're going to create, every sweet, whether it's an awesome mobile app, whether it's a full stack application for some sort of bank, maybe it'll be a game that you created. All of these things require variables and functions. So continue to play around. Here I've given you quite a lot of information at once, but I want you to sit down, look at it, and be like, what? Just really break it down. Like, what the heck is he talking about? And try to replicate this function. Have it called howdy or hello or something, and have it do something similar. Be like, hello, awesome, or nice to meet you, or good to meet you, or hey, I heard you're this years old. Have it log something out that you can see and have it accept arguments that you can pass information to. If you wanted to create a function that simply did, and we did function, and we said Adam, because we just want to add two numbers, and we give it an X and a Y. So now, whenever we call this function, we're going to have it return X plus Y. So we could say, okay, well, we want to console.log Adam. And now we can either put numbers in like 5 and 8 because it's going to take these two numbers. The X would be 5 goes in the X, 8 goes in the Y, and we log that out. Was 13. So we can do that, or we could do Adam, and we could do number 1 plus number 2. We could do that as well. Now we could take a look. And we say, oh, it's 40 because it takes 15 plus 25, which is awesome. So continue to play around with it. Continue to grow in your understanding and really sit down and just practice with functions, doing simple things. I'm telling you, if you can really understand the fundamental pieces here, you are becoming such a better programmer than a lot of the people out there, understanding what these variables are meant to hold and the information inside of them, and then doing things that you want to do with that data is absolutely awesome and is paramount to becoming a software engineer. So continue to practice on this, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.